Hi, I'm Marley.
I'm Emily.
And I'm Evelyn.
Trash, noun. Slang for someone who enjoys the uncool, objectively bad, and or the unpopular. Synonyms: nerd, geek, dork. Originally an insult similar to geek and nerd.
So I decided to do some first-person research about how mental health disorders are portrayed in the media. I contacted a few psychologists through email and interviewed some people in real life and talked to a film teacher about film in general and how they represent not only mental health disorders, but also just stereotypes in general, like gender stereotypes and racial stereotypes. So first, I will talk about a survey I had a few classes take to see what a general group would know about mental health disorders. So a majority of them think that the most accurate forms of entertainment for like mental health disorders are books and movies and TV shows. And then the least accurate are comics and video games and stuff like that. Most people didn't know much about schizophrenia or psychosis or autism or PTSD or OCD. And most people knew about depression and anxiety and alcoholism and that kind of stuff. And the general opinion was that schizophrenia and psychosis are the least represented in education or entertainment, and along with PTSD, OCD, and autism. So there's a correlation between what's most known and what's most represented in the media. And the least accurately, it was about the same for a lot of them, other than anxiety and eating disorders. So most of them were about equal, about 30 people. And most of the people who took this survey have dealt with a mental health disorder themselves or have known someone who has. So after doing this initial research, I decided to contact professionals. So I contacted about psychosis and schizophrenia and how that's portrayed. And they said that mostly it's portrayed as violent and they don't show the different symptoms because there's positive symptoms and negative symptoms. And it doesn't mean bad or good. It just means about how well they can do something, like how easy it is for them to fit into society or like to accomplish something. So like negative symptoms aren't always shown. And also psychosis and schizophrenia are usually stigmatized, and the portrayals in media usually involve like merciless killers and stuff. And then they say that the reason they kill people is because of something like schizophrenia. And then they don't really go in depth and they just use it as a plot point, like as a plot device. And then that leads people to think that people with schizophrenia and psychosis are like that in real life and that they're all like that. And then I also contacted a professor about how OCD is treated, because OCD can be used as like as a joke a lot of the time. And he talked about how like a lot of the symptoms of OCD aren't shown, and then it's kind of just like dramatized, like the rituals and how they're portrayed and how it's like used as like a joke, and it doesn't really show the negative symptoms of OCD. And then lastly, my live interviews, which some I have recorded, we're mostly talking about the issue in general and how it affects people, because it makes the general population think that everyone who has a mental health disorder is that way in real life, especially like if it's shown to like younger people. And that can have a lasting effect on the stigma of mental health. So it's very relevant in schizophrenia and psychosis because those are usually used for plot devices, for merciless killers, and for like depression or something. It's not always shown like that they get better or that they're more than just their depression. And there's a lot of one-note characterization, and Evelyn will go into more detail about that. And yeah, and something like And it can just be helpful for people to have like a positive role model in the media, and for other people to know that like not every person with a mental health disorder is the same person.
Yeah.
So I found an article on Psych Central going into detail about how not only mental health or people with mental health issues are stigmatized, but also mental health professionals are stigmatized and shown to be inaccurate or like just bad at their jobs. So it kind of creates a climate where people think that mental health professionals won't actually help with mental health, which is also very harmful.
Yeah, good point. So I remember an example of this was I played this one video game. I cannot remember what it is. I'll probably look it up and put it on our blog later. But